Reverend Magnolia, you heard me. God woke me up this morning, gave me the power to lace up the soldier Reeboks, and I'm out here moving my feet, you heard me. He can move mountains, but only man can get up and move himself, will himself to get it done, you heard me. You got to get out here and move. Move your feet, you heard me, and get to it on God.
Learn shit, that same mentality, you keep you grounded. You wonder why you can't get nowhere, man, it's not surprising. You better tighten up your ropes, dog, and open your eyes, man. I do exactly what I want to and not what I can, man. My truth will be fulfilled over time. Gotta elevate your thoughts and frame of mind. My purpose is my purpose by design. When you finally see the light, you're coming to your own. But don't be surprised if you don't see results that you want. Cause you don't work for it, baby. Unsophisticated verbatim won't help my cause. Reading through the scriptures uplift me, erase my flaws. Move your feet and you reach your destiny after all. After all. Move your feet, move your feet. You can't get nowhere. You can't get nowhere. You can't get nowhere. Ever dreamed of or you fantasize, it's right there for you if you move your feet, get to it now. Don't wait too long. Gotta get out and get it, don't use no shortcut, take the long way. I stayed on my mission, I prophesize, I chose my own fate, and this ain't religious, no, but hallelujah. I prophesize, damn right I prophesize, did what I want with my life, praise the Lord for the gimmicks. You are a king of oneself, don't decrease for attention. Well, you can do what you want if you just move your feet. If you just move your feet, move your feet, move your feet, move your feet. Elevated from frustrations I harbor deep down inside. If I really wanna see some change, I know it start with I.
Ain't no half-stepping, no shortcuts, you heard me? On that path, you might have to take the long road, but you gotta take that first step and move your feet, you heard me?
Peace, peace, peace to the planet Earth as always, man. We up here on a Sunday. If you breathing, you blessed. That's the bottom line. Top of the hour, man, I always love. We got guests of all backgrounds, all talents, all experiences. And today we got another performing artist and more, brand builder and more, Fleetwood Tizzle. Before I bring him on, the song set it off. Move your feet. You know what I'm saying? Stay focused. Understand where you need to be. Keep going. Exercise perseverance, discipline, make the abnormal decisions, sacrifice, dedicate, keep going. That's what I got from that song. I love music where I can actually feel it. You know what I'm saying? I support everybody, but you know, it's a difference when I actually feel the song, man. Shout out real quick before I bring my guests on. Shout out to my man Sabir, who linked us. You know what I'm saying? Linked us. I'm so grateful for all the support on the platform. We're averaging 100K views right here on YouTube, and we got videos on TikTok approaching 1 million. So salute to everybody that's pushing the content. Salute to Jay. I'm out here living Williams. If you're not following him already, make sure you lock in with him. We're getting ready to do something together real soon. and events. Because somebody was asking May 7th, we out there in VA, Yorktown, Youth our Future Day, sponsored by my brother's nonprofit, Free Jefferson Elliott, aka Poetic Life for Law. As he's getting it done, man. Published author, and we holding events in the streets for the youth, man. We out here working, we not just talking. Without further ado, I'm ready to get into it. Go ahead and bring my guest up. Allow him to introduce himself if you don't know him already, man. Fleetwood Tizzle. Peace, good brother.
Hey, what's going on? What's going on, brother?
What's happening, man? If you can, I already did my spiel. You know what I'm saying? I definitely had to shout you out. The song was fire. I'm real picky when it comes to music and art. We got a lot of stuff going out here on the creative side, and when I seen it, I got Andre 3000 in it. You know what I'm saying? I got vibes, man. I seen the peach tree. I pay attention to the details. You know what I'm saying? I seen the peach tree sign. I know them streets well. I'm down here in the A.
Oh yeah.
So man, without further ado, like I said, man, salute to you and introduce yourself, man. Let them know who you are, what you do.
I go by the name Fleetwood Tizzle, man. I was born in Georgia, man, and grew up in Virginia, Hopewell, Virginia. Like he said, man, the good brother Sabir is the one that linked us together, man. I saw, videos previously, from his platform, man, and said, yeah, I want to be a part of that, man. Anything that's moving in the right direction, man. I love to be a part of that. Y'all can find me on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook at Fleetwood Tizzle, Fleetwood like the Cadillac, Tizzle. That's on all platforms. You know what I mean? I'm just honored to be here on this platform with this good brother right now.
Yes, sir. First and foremost, again, man, peace. Glad to have you up here. I already know just from a little bit of the conversation we had and what I can obviously see you doing, you working.
Yeah.
It's 2023. It's March. It's getting ready to heat up in Atlanta, but I want to take it back briefly. I don't even want to stay there, but I just want to take it back briefly because I did put in the title From Prison to Purpose.
Yeah.
The content isn't all about that, but I think it's important to illustrate the point that we got people out here every day taking away excuses. So if you can, just briefly, just give up a little bit of your background, things you might have had to go through in order to get to 2023, because I really want to focus on that.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, I definitely had my share, trials and tribulation, man, in the state of Virginia. I did a 7-year bid for armed robbery out there. So, during that time of incarceration is where I met a lot of my good brothers that I'm still in tune with right now, like Sabir. Did a little stretch up in there, got out with my mind right, of course. You know what I mean? And just moving in the right direction, you know what I'm saying? Took full advantage of the information that was available in there. I realized that a lot of us that go through that process, you know what I mean, those times in our life of incarceration, being behind that G-wall, we like to put out there like it's nothing available to us, within that system. And I have to disagree with that. It's just all about being open to the information that is available to you while you're behind the wall, and taking full advantage of that and being able to, correct yourself, quote unquote. That's why they call it corrections, honestly. And, I have to agree with them partially within that notion, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I took full advantage of that, man, got out, with my head on straight, man. I already knew what I wanted to do. I had my goals in place. I had the steps I was going to take. I started from the finish line first and worked my way back up, and then came, and now I'm back on, in track in the middle somewhere. You know what I mean? But definitely had that vision coming out of prison, out of incarceration. Just use a lot of the systems in there, a lot of the classes and programs, just to restructure my mind, man, my way of thinking, that criminal thinking. I wanted to know why I was thinking like I was thinking, and what was bringing me to the actions I was taking, because nobody can make you do anything, is you bringing yourself to those actions. So I wanted to know what was going on inside my mind that was bringing me to, want to take the action I was taking in the street and landed me where I landed at.
100. I gotta agree with you on that. Sabir checking in too, man. Peace, Sabir.
What up, Bob?
I definitely gotta agree with you. If for anybody, I know we not green, man. I know my viewers, they're on both sides of the wall right now because, I'm grateful for that, the support. If you come across this content, or if somebody calling you from behind the wall, there's things they can do. You might got to dig a little deeper. You might got to bother accounts a little bit more. You might got to do a lot of your own work, but that's the same thing with out here. You know what I'm saying? You got to put in your work. When I came with the hard-headed approach, I didn't see it that way. Then I finally hit St. Bride's and got into the programs. They gave me an opportunity to be a senior elder, and I seen all types of resources. Yeah. So I'm with you on that, man. Yeah, reentry. Yeah, man. They had me over there. I was working in the reentry building on the Brides for like 4 years strong, man.
Okay.
But I seen how many resources there were, and it set me up too, man. It changed my way of thinking, on the way out.
Showing up.
So let me ask you this. Fast forward, because I played your music in the beginning. I want to talk about, because you talked already about conditioning your mind prior to On the Way Out, and I'm sure continue to do so if you like myself.
Yeah.
You're moving forward, you transition past the point where that stumbling block, that hurdle, now seems like you focus. You know what I'm saying? I was going through your IG. I like to do my research as much as I can. I see positive, quotes. I see positive music. I see where the growth, you know what I'm saying, through the IG, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where does that come from? What's the motivation aside from prison? Like, what do you have going on? Or was this always a vision, or how did it come together?
Well, the vision of, music has always been a part of my life. You know what I mean? I was doing music before I got locked up. I was actually, in Hopewell, Virginia, 804, man. I was opening up for I was with a group called 360, Dollar Gang 360 from Hopewell. Anybody from the 804 probably know what I'm talking about. But we was opening up for BG. We was doing like fundraiser events and things of that nature with Trey Songz. We was at the Virginia Music Awards with Pharrell, at the Clips. You know what I mean? Like we was making moves like that inside of certain magazines and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? I was just inside of the street life at the time, you know what I mean? Walking a certain way with gang banging, you know what I mean? So, those are the kind of the turn of events that led me to, making the poor decision that I made that put me in incarceration. But I've always been doing music, man. And I just, I was disappointed with myself on how I removed myself from the street. I allowed myself to, take myself off the street. It wasn't nobody else that did it to me. I did it to myself, with poor decisions. But I was just so much in disbelief that I did that to myself that when I got out, I wanted to make sure that I still just gave myself a chance, you know what I mean, to put my artistry out there, regardless. I'm not looking for the, the quote unquote fame or anything like that from it. It's about putting those messages out there that I want, that I know I'm supposed to put out there, because I put out so many bad messages within, my years before I got incarcerated, that could be having a hand in, things going on, you know what I mean? Not even gonna lie, I know neither or, whether it did or it didn't, but that possibility is there. I just want to be responsible for the things I put out there, and that's why I made a huge change within my content, as far as with the music I was out there and what I'm posting. Because it's like, when you look at social media, you got to look at it like your life's journal. When you leave this earth, you know what I'm saying? When you leave the physical form, what do you want to leave behind? You know what I'm saying? Your social media is your journal. And that's your, hey, this is who I am, whether people want to take it like that or not, you know what I'm saying? That's what I kind of woke up and said, man, this is like your representation. If there's a way electronically or within what's going on right now, the matrix, as they call it, that you want to leave your capsule behind, your social media is your capsule that people might be unlock later on and be like, oh, Fleetwood Tizzle. Okay, I see this and that. Okay, this is the type of person he was. Oh, look at this quote he said. You know what I mean? Oh, this is what he felt about life, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And still, everybody should take on that practice and treat it as such. This is your journal that you're leaving behind for the world to discover when you're not here. Maybe thousands of years later, you don't know how long this stuff is going to be available. So, just want to put your best foot forward. And that's what I pretty much did. I just ain't give up on myself, man. No matter my age, no matter nothing, I feel like we should hold on to the things that make you feel good, the things that make you happy. I don't care if you're gaming or what. I still play games here and there. I don't do it all the time because I'm a busy man. You know what I'm talking about? Certain things get a little different, but you still like to go and relax sometimes. I game. Do the things that make you happy. That's what keeps you happy, with a smile on your face, that you're not turning to your other side, because you can't have this without that. So you're gonna have a good and evil side, so on and so forth. So the side of your, that makes you happy the most. So that's what I've been trying to do, man. Just keeping my foot moving, like I said in that song, man, moving my feet, that's kind of like a letter to myself for real. A lot of these songs I put out really be talking to myself for real. You know what I mean? And just putting gems.
That song sounded like affirmations to me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It sounded like lighting incense, you know what I'm saying? Or just being outside, and it sounds like Sunday evenings in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, easy listening. Yeah, it's definitely easy listening. You know what I mean?
You know, but at the same time, you know, I like that soul music, man. I'm very passionate about music, art. You know what I'm saying? Myself, I like that music that stir your soul, man. You spoke about you know, branding on the internet. I think it's important I want to add on to that for the social media aspect. When I first came home, I was, you know, I'm still navigating, learning, and I tell guys all the time when they call me, when we talk, be careful what you post. Be careful what you put, because you don't know what opportunity, what situation is going to come tomorrow.
Yeah.
Whether it's a 9 to 5, whether it's somebody's looking at you for a business deal, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people will jump on to your social media to see where you're at mentally.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm wondering.
Getting a lot of people reaching out, man, you know, here recently, man, with opportunities for, like, you know, they sending me things that they make, like pins and, you know, different things. They sending it to me, you know, because they to check it out and, you know, possibly post it. So, you know, the opportunities will be there if you're delivering yourself the right way. You know what I'm saying? When you're putting yourself on social media, that's a fact.
Protect your reputation at all costs, even online, man. And don't put all your business out there, y'all. I keep telling y'all. So you into a couple of different things. I just want to talk about business. We both, you know, we got a few things in common as we speak and go down this path. But we spoke a little bit about the bullies. I'm new to the game. You passionate about it, but that tells me you probably got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things going on like me. When it comes to business, what would you say to the individual that's saying, man, I ain't getting no opportunities, nothing shaking? You know what I'm saying? What do you say to the people that feel like they running into brick walls, or they can't find their path, or they can't get over the edge? Because there's a lot of people I see while we're talking about social media, you know, most respectful. I understand what people go through. I go through my own shit every day. You know what I'm saying? But I get tired of the posts where people, the woe is me posts, because I'm looking at you. You said you did 7. I did 17. And not saying we better or worse, but I got a feeling we both looked at life the same way. There's no excuses, and we create the opportunities for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But what in your message, what do you say to the people that feel like they can't get it?
Now, it depends. Is this a general message, or are we speaking from the people that walk the same path that we walked before? Because it's a kind of a different approach.
You know, both.
Really haven't felt the things we felt. So, you know what I'm saying? We get pushed and we got a different type of ambition based off of what we've been through in life. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to talk to the general people like that. But you know, when it comes to just, you know, wanting to do more, that's something you got to dig inside of yourself to pull out. You know what I mean? And until you're hard on yourself, like you may be to others around you or not, you got to be hard on yourself. You can't cut yourself no slack. You can't lie to yourself. That's the worst thing you can do. The worst defeat to me is self-defeat. You know what I mean? So it's all about whether or not you want to defeat yourself by giving up and not pursuing the things that you know you wanted to pursue. It might have got hard at a point and you tapped out, but you know, you might have tapped out right at the point of your breakthrough.
No question.
You know what I'm saying? See, what I had to realize is that I made a poor decision at a point of one of my breakthroughs, and it landed me where it landed me. You know what I mean? So I had to come out and kind of kickstart and learn different things, get acclimated to technology, a lot of things that the people from my walk of life that's been incarcerated can kind of push them back behind the wall, because there's a certain fear that comes with learning and, you know, renewing your mind and being, you know, being afresh, being anew. It's something that triggers us to want to be comfortable with how we know how to make it, you know, and get to it. But just having that pressure on yourself, man, is what tends to work for me, man. You know, not allowing yourself to make any excuses for anything that you might be dealing with, going through, or anything, because there's always information out here that can change that. You know what I'm saying? As long as you're willing to dive into the information, you can make anything happen. I came from being incarcerated to, like you said, multiple businesses. I never thought I would own, you know, I own a business. Now I have 3, 4 businesses, you know, whether it's trucking, dogs, music, and you know, coming into like the dispatch trucking. And I also work. I still work. You know what I'm
Me
saying?
too. Yeah.
I still would throw a box. I still would shovel some dirt. You know what I'm saying? You got to have multiple streams of income. You know what I mean? It's just about, if you work a W-2, open you up a business still. Deposit your W-2 check into your business account. You know, build a way for you to have access to funds, because, you know, you could work a W-2 job and deposit into a business account. And in 3 months, you got access to that money that you made at that W-2 for those 3 months. You can take that loan out. You know what I mean? But, you know, it's a lot of stuff.
Trust me. Hey, and on that note, I want to encourage everybody, open up a business account at a credit union.
Immediately. I don't care if it's in your net, like your regular name. It could be your name LLC, or thought you ever had LLC, like whatever. Like, you know, do it, man. Even for your kids, do it. Deposit it for business account. Personal operating out of personal accounts is like pointless. It's pointless.
Hey, we're gonna do a whole hour just on, because people are always.
We can get into the financial jump too. You know what I mean? We can get into that. You know, it's a lot of gems, man.
No question.
Got on that, man.
Financial literacy is key, and that's where we fall short a lot of times as people. I didn't know it all.
That's the beginning of it, for real. That's where it started. That's what the hardship started at, was, you know, our ancestors not having access to a lot of this information.
No.
The information, man, what punishes generations, man.
You better bet it.
Yeah,
what are your thoughts on, you know, as far as your mindset? How do you feel yourself? Do you feel like you've evolved greatly? Do you feel like you've continued the same mindset as far as when you first came home to now? And then where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I can see you a visionary. You know what I'm saying? I see yourself, like, what do you see? Where do you see yourself? Do you look back at moments where you hit some real obstacles and hurdles and you was like, dang, I don't know? Or did you always just, yo, I got this, I'm going through it?
Just to keep it funky. I mean, you know, I just came out of storm. You know what I mean? I just came from, you know, hardships in life. You know what I mean? It just comes with, you know, you got kids and things of that nature to take care of. Everything don't always go your way when you're trying to be an entrepreneur neither. Like, it's hard. You know what I'm saying? You know, you got to pretty much fund everything. You got to do everything when it comes to marketing, promoting. Like, it gets stressful. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, the main thing you got to do is keep on stomping, though. You got to keep going, keep on pushing.
Yeah,
that's the key to it. Because at the end of that, you know, that storm, the sun gonna come out, man, eventually. It can't rain every dang on day, you know what I'm saying? That's what you got to understand. It can't rain every day. It might feel like it's been raining for a month or 2 or 3 or 4, but it's gonna clear up eventually, and you just gotta be strong enough to stay in that.
I'd rather be
looking forward. I mean, I just keep pushing. Like I said, I already know the goals I want. You know, I know the goals I want to reach and obtain and stuff like that. I just make sure I just keep going, man. You know what I'm saying? And constantly renewing my mind and remaining teachable. What happens at a certain age, we don't like to be taught anything anymore. And that's another thing that kind of hinders us as a people, just collectively as people, no matter what color or creed you are. Sometimes people don't want to remain teachable, and that's what can hold you back. You know what I mean?
No question.
Like, remain teachable at all times.
I want to shift to this point now, because I think this is a good, you mentioned briefly, you know, your background, you know, part of your history or whatever coming up. We similar there. What do you say to the youth right now? Because 2023, 2020, it's been to me, it's been weird. I've been home less time than you. I've only been home 3 years. I came home 2020 pandemic, internet, getting used to all this. And what I see from my perspective, I see not just the youngins, I don't want to limit to them, but I see a lot of people getting up on the internet, chasing clout, literally posting crimes, you know, all types of wild. Like, I've been talking to these young, and I'm in East Atlanta, and Atlanta, it's nice here, it's a hood there, you know what I'm saying? 2 minutes here, and I'm talking to these young, and I'm like, and I'm trying to get them to understand there's no reset button. And I just get this weird feeling like they don't really understand that. And again, I don't want to keep saying youngins, but the reason I'm saying that is because in Atlanta,
generation, that's what it is. It's a particular generation right now. I know what you mean.
Yeah, and in Atlanta, just like every other city, the gun violence. There was a bunch of teenagers down at Atlantic Station. I think they were ranging from like 14 to 16 years old. Somebody lost their life. Bad situations. What do you say to the youth, or what do you say to people, organizations, or whatever that might be trying to bridge the gap that might not know how. Like, what's the message from you on that?
Well, as far as the street aspect, man, what I would say is, you know, go with your heart, man. Go with your heart. Go with what you feel inside. Because a lot of the times, a lot of these youngsters that's involved in the gang banging and things of that nature, they don't really want to do it. You see what I'm saying? So the first thing they got to do is put their 10 toes down in the ground and say, hey, this ain't for me, and I'm no longer walking in this path. You know what I'm saying? I want to choose a better life. And on the other end, because I did walk that life and I understand, you know what I'm saying? At one time I was walking that. Everybody can't be saved. Yeah. Some people don't want to stop doing what they're doing. You know, family members and things of that nature and homies that I care for, that I had to realize they don't want to stop. Yeah. So sometimes you gotta stay out of the way of that, because although we all living in the same, physical form, you're still in different worlds, because people are living in different worlds. Just like we was behind that wall, that is a different world from the outside. We know that, right? It's like night and day. I give it the equivalent of going to war, how Army, veterans come from war. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing, us coming from prison, because we seen and had to be programmed to so many different things, or blocking out the programming that they was attempting to do. It takes on a lot of impact on your spirit and your mind, your body. So to come out here with a sound mind is not the easiest task. You know what I mean? So I would just say that, the people in the street, man, they're in a different world. You know what I mean? So a lot of the way we talk or the way we register things don't really register to them. Now, it's a responsibility, to say something, but I'm only responsible for saying it one time. You know what I mean? So if I approach, whether it's a family member, a young family member, or just, a youngin' in the street or whatever, I'm going to give them the peace, because I know at one point I heard things, but I tucked that away. And I'm going to still do what I'm about to do right now. But I heard you, though. I heard you old school, but you know what I'm saying? Right now, so it's man, it's real touchy. It's a real touchy, conversation. You know what I mean? It's a lot to unpack right there, because like I said, you can't save everybody. So a lot of us, have to realize that, you can kind of get the energy of who you can save and who you can't.
Yeah, no question.
Some of them dudes, like, they're out of there. And that's just how it is from that world. A lot of things you can't reverse, you can't come back from. And a lot of those, young brothers and sisters are just in that mode right now. Yeah.
The trauma aspect for us, I grew up in Chicago, in the hood, you know what I'm saying? Like, and then I was in the military before I got locked up, during 9/11, and then I went to prison, and then I came home in 2020 to a pandemic. I'm gonna tell y'all straight up, I was jacked up. I encourage everybody that if you've been incarcerated or you grew up in the hood, try out therapy. Might not be for you, might not be your thing, you know what I'm saying? But find something that, because what I learned, I just want to speak to this piece. A lot of us, we go through these traumas, they mess us up mentally, emotionally, physically. Especially the men, we bang it off us, you know what I'm saying? And then boom, next thing you know, here comes a trigger. Boom, next thing you know, you sitting there, you done came home after 17 years, you got everything you ever dreamed of, and you sitting there with your head down, you don't know why. You know what I'm saying? I went and got, I took my therapy, my mental health, I take it seriously. I just got some, you know what I'm saying? I really went down there and my life changed, because we don't really understand. A lot of us, we're making the decisions that we're making. We're moving the way that we're moving because our brains are stuck in trauma patterns, trauma holes, stress holes. Our brain not supposed to be moving like that. Your thoughts aren't supposed to be racing a million miles a second. That's why you're getting, so just encouraging everybody, because he touched on that. And something else I heard that I'm a firm believer on, and I'm gonna kind of hit it in a different way, but I'm sure you agree. Everybody can't be saved. You got to know when to move. You got to know when to keep going. And to my hustlers and entrepreneurs, anybody that knows, in December of 2021, me and my wife, we opened a school up down here in Atlanta. Unfortunately, but fortunately, we learned a lot of hard lessons really quick. But those hard lessons that we learned are the only reason we're as successful as we are today.
That's right. That's right.
One of the lessons we learned is you can't take everybody with you. You can't force anybody to match your energy. You can't force anybody to want to drive with you. You can't force anybody to want to succeed. And if you hang on to the individuals that don't, you're going to end up being weighed down.
You're going to self-destruct with them, man. You're going to self-destruct too. When they go off and explode, it's taking everything next to them with it.
You got to, man. I cut my circle's so small, I tell you. But I got love for plenty of people. I got love for the planet. But as far as my circle, it got so small in the last few years.
Yeah.
But it's only because I had to learn that. When I first came home, I got opportunities. I'm trying to plug everybody in with me. Come on, brother. No more. You can eat at the table, but you got to at least do the dishes. You got to
Hey, man, came home trying to, do the same thing. And it was draining, man. It took away a lot of the energy that I needed for me to keep going. You know what I'm saying? So I had to, unplug a lot of people out of my socket, you know what I'm saying? And just, I got to get to it myself, you know what I mean? Because then you can, once you make it, then you can, reach over the fence and pull somebody over, once you get it accomplished. But if you try to bring them in, let them inside the vehicle too early, man.
It gets tiring, man. Self-care, all that ties together. And don't just separate yourself from people. Separate yourself from places and things.
Yeah, places and things, and people, things. The most vital. That's some of the best game I got behind the wall was, being aware of those people, places, and things, man. Hey, because that's what'll trigger you real quick to being back where where you started from, man.
No question, man.
They had you in that recidivism category real quick and back in the prison. You know what I mean?
Bro, life is about percentages. It's crazy. It takes forever to build something up, and it takes this fast to lose it all. I mean, man, I don't even want to keep thinking about that thought I know this. What life is about percentages, right? You can't control everything. We see how the world is. We understand life, but what you can control, you better be making the right decisions in 2023 and trying to control it, because it's chaotic enough out there, man.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact.
Let's see, we got some more comments real quick. Sabir dropping a diamond sign. And again, man, real quick before we bring this to a close, I think we got. So I want to say this while we're on air. I do panels. We getting ready to do business panels. I think you might. I don't know if you mentioned you were married. I'm married, but we get ready to do panels on relationships.
Married with children, ain't it? Married with children.
So, family man. But I'd like to invite you, man, back up here for some future panels, man. Hopefully we keep in touch. We both in the area. We might be able to link up, do some other things down here too, man. Before we go, you dropped a lot of jewels in a short amount of time, man. That's why I said we gotta have you back up here. I want you to just shout out everything you got going on, anything. You shout out your social media, but if you want to do any of that thing again, anything you got going on, and then a message to the world, man. Whatever it is, maybe it's a jewel, a thought, a quote, whatever it is that you need the world to know.
Hey, man. Man, y'all can catch me on all social media platforms at Fleetwood Tizzle. I do have a single dropping on next Friday, man, called Reflecting.
Get that.
Self-explanatory, you know what I mean? Just some, reflecting on a lot of past dealings and present, As far as the message I would like to put out there to the world, man, all I would say is don't give up on yourself, man. That's the best message I can ever put out there. Do not give up on yourself. Because a lot of the times that people tap out, with suicide and things of that nature is because they gave up on themselves. And like I said, the worst defeat is self-defeat. So that's all I would say, man. Just keep on pushing, man. There's always a better tomorrow if you allow yourself to have it.
Facts, man. Again, salute to you, Soldier. Appreciate having you up here.
Likewise. I appreciate that, King.
Yeah, man. He said it best. Keep going. I seen a quote earlier. I might have reposted or something. If you don't give yourself enough time, you'll never figure out who you're supposed to be. You'll never understand why you went through what you went through. You'll never know, why God, allowed you to be tested in that way. You'll never know unless you go. And I can tell you, man, from two guys sitting up here that experienced a little bit of hell on earth, we can show you, not show you through words, but show you through our actions and countless others on the planet, man, that are showing you through their actions that you can get through whatever you're going through, man.
It's possible.
It gets hard, but as I bring this to the close, all you got to do is keep moving your feet. That's it. Till next time, man. Make sure you follow Fleetwood Tizzle Lock In and that single coming up, Reflections. Check out his IG. He's got a lot of dope content up there. And of course, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe all the content here. And I appreciate all the support. As I speak on behalf of me and Fleetwood Tizzle, man. Without y'all, we couldn't do anything, man.
Yes, sir.
Till next time, man. Peace to the planet Earth. Wonderful Sunday. Peace.